They touched on everything. Yeah, safe journey home to you. Watch out. Yeah. It's got a water all over the ground. Right. Yeah. Nice. You got some stuff. Wow, this is yeah. And I'll see it. And I wonder. Yeah, I just put these here. I was just gonna like show some products and stuff. Like I got the Hero diaper. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Oh, I didn't get it. I should have brought more gummies. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me a part of this. I'm so impressed with your and this is crazy. Oh my gosh. It's coming. I just feel like more, I don't know how you guys do it. News and opportunities in their communities. So that's the idea of mycopreneur. So 5 years ago, I used my skills. These are the things that make mushroom entrepreneurship beautiful. You don't have to be a farmer. Some people say, I don't know how to farm. I don't have the resources, the materials. What do you know how to do? For me, I'm a journalist and a multimedia producer. This is my background. I've worked on other people's podcasts. If anybody knows podcasts are like a kind of a radio show for the internet. And I realized about 5 years ago, I didn't hear that many podcasts or shows or journalism articles about mushrooms. I thought these are so interesting. There's people in Africa learning to grow mushrooms, people in India growing mushrooms. It became very popular in the United States. And I thought, there's no journalism or media just focused on mushrooms, and even fewer focused on mushroom entrepreneurs. So that's when I started Mycopreneur Podcast. I wanted to share the stories of people who were being successful with their mushroom project. This is how I met so many people here. And just before me, before you came here, there was a young man from Kenya. He started his mushroom business 7 years ago, and he started it because there were no job opportunities for him at the time. He was having a really difficult time finding work, finding money, finding employment. I think a lot of people can relate to this story. I can, for sure. And then he decided, I'm going to grow mushrooms, start a mushroom business. 7 years later, he has a very successful mushroom business. He doesn't have to worry about applying for the job. He doesn't have to worry about this market. He just gets to grow mushrooms and focus on his business. So this is, to me, a great example of a mycopreneur. Next slide, please. Oh, everybody should meet Josephine if you haven't met her yet. This photo is from a few years ago, so maybe if you look around, you won't recognize her because she has different hair now. But Josephine, probably you know who she is, and in case you don't, she's the director of Eco-Agric Uganda, which is what the facility here is, and the community teaching people about food sovereignty, about growing your own food, having food freedom, about gardening, things like this. And she started becoming a mycopreneur, a mushroom entrepreneur, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I don't know exactly how long, but it's been a few years now, maybe longer. And we have international collaboration. There's people from United States and Canada and Europe who are supporting with resources, with materials, because they want to see this project blossom. And I think my goal for you today is for you to know this is an opportunity for you. That even if you don't consider mushrooms a career or a job opportunity, that it is available to you. So maybe even 5 years from, if you're in a position, you're graduated from school and college, you're trying to find some work, maybe you can remember that there's an opportunity. Also, you don't have to wait 5 years. You can start today, skill to learn how to work with mushrooms and connect with my community. So Josephine is a wonderful example of a mycopreneur, mushroom entrepreneur. And this is a photo of her a few years ago with very low technology and limited resources. I have healthy, nutritious, delicious food of mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, lion's mane she's growing, I believe. There's many types of mushrooms you can grow for food. But many people start with the oyster mushroom. I think I have more photos after this so you can see better. The oyster mushroom is pretty easy to grow. Sometimes, like you're growing something new and you're not successful because it's difficult to start sometimes. But the oyster mushroom, very good place to start if you want to start growing mushrooms. And I hope today you may have an opportunity to actually learn a little bit about how to do this. So next slide, please. Okay, so something I think that's important to recognize too is the future of our world we're heading towards already has a lot of different organizations, governments, companies, individuals who are trying to create more sustainability, more environmental integrity and sustainability. And mushrooms play perfectly into this role. So it's something I thought about maybe 5 years ago when I started Mycopreneur. Hearing about sustainable development goals. Sustainable development goals are from the United Nations. Maybe you've heard of this large international organization that has a lot of resources, a lot of opportunities connected to them. And they have 17 goals. So to go through them, I think that would be boring for everyone. But the achievement that they're hoping to unlock is to create more economic opportunity in a sustainable way, more sustainability. So you don't need to cut down the forests. You don't need to do crazy amounts of development projects. Hopefully, there could be a more environmentally friendly way of doing business. And mushrooms, in my perspective, they fit into every single goal. So already, I've talked to several people here in Uganda, like George, who just did the presentation before you arrived from Kenya. He received a few grants, right? You get a grant from the government or a non-governmental organization. This means they will give you money. If you ask the right people, you have the right plan, they may give you money to grow mushrooms. And I know, for example, Max and Ike, hi to everyone. He's one of our rock stars here, our good friends, Max. They received a grant, correct? For their mushroom farm in the United States. So again, if you start thinking, oh, I know what to do, I know where the opportunity is, I'm going to learn about mushrooms, and you craft a grant or a proposal, you might get somebody to give you money to start your business. So again, this is a viable option. It's an option. Josephine, I believe she also started Eco-Agric Uganda with a grant that she got. So so just briefly, some of the goals are like no poverty. That's goal number one. The Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations. They want to eliminate poverty, which I know many places where there's lack of resources, there's some poverty, right? And as a mushroom entrepreneur, you may be able to overcome that. Another one, zero hunger. Mushrooms fit perfectly into this. Like, I'm hungry, there's a drought, there's no rainfall right now. The supply chains are having issues. Food is too expensive. You can solve that with growing mushrooms if you grow them. And they're very cheap to grow compared to other crops. One other example, for let's say you want to grow corn, you want to grow wheat, you want to grow sugarcane. You need a lot of land usually, yeah? That's a very difficult thing for many people. I don't have land. Where am I going to go grow corn if I don't have land? I don't have a lot of water. Maybe water is difficult to access for some people for crops. You don't need water to grow mushrooms. Not nearly as many resources as you need for other crops. So again, this idea is that there are a lot of reasons why mushroom farming is a future-proof industry. So if you're thinking ahead a few years, 5 years, you want to have opportunity, mushrooms are a great thing to start learning about today and start connecting with people who know mushrooms and learning with your hands. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, we can skip to the next one. These are the other goals there. Okay, let's see. Let's skip to the next one. Again, so these just were about the goals, right? But I'm going to give you another example of how mushrooms can really help in places where there's a lot of challenges and limited opportunity. This is in Rwanda, right? The neighboring country. I flew through Rwanda yesterday, actually. We stopped in the airport and flew here. Now, there were a lot of refugees in Rwanda. This idea of refugees, people who have been the victims of a war or famine or really bad circumstances, they need to leave their home. In many places around the world, including in parts of Africa, like I believe this one was actually, this is in Rwanda, they have these refugee camps. I don't know if anyone has heard of these or seen them, but it's a place where a lot of people are living who don't have opportunity. It's not their home. Maybe there's no work available. They were the victims of very bad circumstances. So now they're in a refugee camp. There are a lot of successful examples of different organizations and micropreneurs who grow mushrooms in this refugee camp. And for example, some of them are even the refugees themselves. So can you imagine if someone is stuck in this camp? They don't have access to money. They don't have access to resources. They don't have their whole community. They're in a new place. But they learn these skills to grow mushrooms, and they have a little bit of help, a little bit of maybe a grant or the materials and resources. And this is what some organizations do. Like I said, they will write you a grant or they will help you to start. And then all of a sudden, you have people in this refugee camp who are able to grow mushrooms to feed their family. Maybe they want to trade the mushrooms to someone else. Maybe they want to sell the mushrooms. So even in these circumstances that are extremely challenging with very few opportunities, mushrooms can be a business model that's successful, that's viable. And other examples, and this is one refugee camp in Rwanda. Also another place is like Bangladesh, which is near India, on the other part of the world. Or I've read about it also in Syria. So again, this model has been repeated. Many people can try this. You don't even have to be in these types of circumstances though. You could just be in your primary school, your secondary school. You start to grow mushrooms, learn about it. You eat them, they're very delicious and healthy. What you don't want to eat, you can sell. You can go to a hotel in your area. You can go to a restaurant in your area. Many people do this. You show up with some mushrooms you grew. You have a little recipe. Say, here's how you can use the mushrooms. Maybe they're going to buy them from you right there. And there are a lot of people using this kind of model. So again, you could go from, I don't have money, I don't have a job, I don't have opportunity, to now I have lots of opportunity. I'm growing this opportunity myself and for my community. So I think it's a really beautiful example of like refugees who become micropreneurs and improve their circumstances. Next slide, please. And then you think, okay, so mushrooms, you're talking about you can grow them, you can eat them. But what made me so interested personally in mushrooms is there are so many other things you can do. Look, I brought some products, some example. Can you believe that this diaper for babies is made with the assistance of mushrooms? Here, this is a new product, and you know I have my baby here, so I have to bring the you need a lot of diapers, when you have a baby. So I need all the diapers I can get. But this is a real issue in the world, is that single-use diapers, like for many people in our country and many places, you have a baby, maybe the baby uses, I don't know, 6 diapers a day, something like that, 4 diapers, depends on the baby, but you use a lot of diapers. If they're single-use plastic diapers, after the baby uses the diaper, you throw it away. Where does the diaper go? It goes in a landfill. It's plastic, most diapers. This diaper is not plastic. So that's a great example of a creative micropreneur, a mushroom entrepreneur, who said, I see a big problem. The big problem is that there are 300,000 diapers every minute that get put into a landfill, and they don't break down. They just stay there. All the plastic, all of these, we call it microplastics, they spread. It's bad. This is a solution. This is a problem we need a solution for. So the solution was Hero diapers. And you can see, maybe it's too small, but even on the brand Hero, they have little mushrooms here. So with these, after the baby uses them, you can throw them in the trash, and then there's a little pouch. I think I have it in my bag there, but a small pouch you throw on top, and it biodegrades, it decomposes. So again, the diaper is now not a plastic liability, it's actually helping the earth. It's creating more opportunity for the soil. So this is like one example of a company right now, or a person that said, I see a big problem and I'm going to use mushrooms to solve this problem and create a lot of value in the meantime. So he says, why are you holding my diapers up, Daddy? That's mine. Yeah. Here's another cool example. Everybody in the United States, if they have a soul, they love dogs. Yeah, we love dogs. And a lot of dogs have a lot of health issues when they get older. If you see an old dog, it's walking very slowly. This is a mushroom supplement for dogs. So it sounds crazy, but there's a lot of people who want to really take care of their dog. The dog is, for people in the United States, and many people, it's like a member of your family. Like, you want to take care of them. If your family member gets sick, you want to take care of them. So this is another example of a product maybe not a lot of people are thinking about, but there's a big opportunity to create abundance, to create health for the dogs. This is called Daily Dog. So you take like a little scoop here, it's this powder, and you can put it on your dog food, and it has mushrooms in it, because mushrooms are actually beneficial for dogs. Just like they're good for human health, they're also good for dogs and for cats' health. So I just wanted to bring a few products to show. Can you film this part? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. Also, I wanted to bring a treat for everyone here. So I brought some mushroom gummies. These are very healthy. They're very normal mushrooms called like black chaga. We've got cordyceps, lion's mane, reishi, turkey tail. So these are all different types of mushrooms that are medicinal. They're very healthy for you. So this is one of the groups I work with, Micro Boost they're called, and I thought, why not bring some gummies for people to share, to enjoy. So I'm going to pass them around. I didn't know how many people would come today, so I don't have enough for everyone, but maybe you can share them together, like, you know, split them in half if you want, or try. But yes, I would like people, if you want, or you can just pass them around. But only if you want. I don't require you, of course, to take them. But I just thought it would be fun to share some gummies. So maybe I pass them here, and you can, if you want, or I'll just check out how to. Yeah, Ice has got it.
Yeah. So you can split them like that if you want. You want to try some?
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah. So again, you know, mushrooms are food. But there's also a lot of different mushrooms that are good as medicine too. People will take them for your longevity, for like living longer, for your skin, for your heart, for your brain. There's lots of research and lots of use historically. Also, mushroom coffee is very popular, so I brought some, but I don't have the ability to make coffee like this, so we can try that maybe later for some people. But I just wanted to show some examples. These are what different mushroom entrepreneurs are making around the world. Thank you. While you get to taste a little bit these gummies, what is another example of what you can do with mushrooms? Maybe you didn't think about it. This is very new. It's a very incredible example to me, and it's from Africa too. So can you see this house right here? It's like a small house. Yeah? And this is in Namibia, right? It's an African country, not so far from here, sub-Saharan Africa, the country of Namibia. This is a house that's built using mushroom materials. There's mushrooms involved in the design and the architecture of the house. So hopefully there's another photo I just wanted to show. Again, this is in Africa. So you think about like, okay, maybe some people can't afford a house. It's so expensive. I can't afford a house right now, right? Maybe some people live in a community where there's not a lot of safe housing. Maybe it's like a large slum, right? Where they don't have the kind of safety you would hope for. You can actually create small houses using mushrooms. And there are different companies and people doing this. So these bricks right here, you see like the foundation, these different materials, these are made using mushrooms because there are types of mushrooms that can be very strong as a material. Actually, there was a perfect example. Do you have the block somewhere?
Yeah.
So thank you, Aixa. This is Aixa. Say hello, Aixa. Hello. So look, this is mushrooms right here. And you see how that could potentially be strengthened and improved, and you might be able to eventually end up with a product like this where you can use it like a brick for the house. So that's, again, it's not only mushrooms, it's a type of mushroom that's mixed with other materials, but it becomes very effective and valuable for building things like this. And not only this like house, there's people making clothes. By the way, I have like my Ugandan shirt. Looks nice, huh?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's very stylish.
Smart. Oh yeah.
So there are people like making clothes using mushrooms. The similar material to this, but trained like for clothes. Okay, next one please, Max. I won't bore you anymore, maybe a few more minutes. We'll go to the next one. Let's see. Oh, another great example. This is Eti. Her name is Eti, E-T-I, and she is the mushroom queen of Nigeria, another African country, right on the west coast of Africa. Anybody heard of the city of Lagos, Nigeria?
Yeah. Of course.
Huge city, right?
Yeah.
I think something like 30 million people in this city. Like it's so many people, so much bigger than Kampala or where I'm from, San Diego, California. And so there's so many people, well, they need to eat something, right? And for a lot of people, well, you don't want to always eat these like cheap food from the grocery store. Just because you can afford it, does that mean it's healthy, right? Where I come from, a lot of people say, oh, this food is cheap, we will eat it. And it's like fried food, fast food, right? It's not so healthy to eat this all the time. So Eti, she started growing mushrooms. And there's all these people who want healthy food. There's restaurants, there's hotels, there's different farmers markets, things like that. So she supplies them with the mushrooms. And now they have a large farm and they're providing mushrooms for maybe 100 businesses. So many different restaurants and grocery stores, online order. And I don't think she started with this big operation, right? You usually start growing mushrooms for one person, maybe for yourself, or maybe for your friends and community. And then you say, maybe I can also offer some mushrooms to the school down the street. I'm gonna go see. Maybe I know a teacher, I know some students, and I know that they have their school lunches, so maybe I'm gonna ask them if they want some mushrooms. Maybe they do. And just like this, one at a time, you can all of a sudden keep building, and now you have a big mushroom farm in Lagos, and you're the mushroom plug in Nigeria, Lagos. So this is a great example. ETI Farms Global, look, sold more than 100,000 packs of mushrooms. So when she's saying a pack, I think they're putting them in packaging because they sell them at the store sometimes. Maybe they dry them. Lots of things you can do with them. But you think about 100,000 packs. This is a really good business, really solid in Nigeria. So we've already seen mushroom entrepreneurs here in Uganda, like with Josephine and Eco-Agric. We heard about George in Kenya, who I told you about, who has 7 years of successful business as a mycopreneur. Now we've seen examples in Namibia and in Nigeria too. So this was the whole point of why I wanted to do what I'm doing, is I want to share the success stories and also the challenges of people. Don't be fooled. Don't think I'm going to start today and I'm going to immediately make money and immediately have a successful business. Anybody who's involved in this kind of work or business, that's not usually how it works. It usually takes some time, but if you commit, if you learn, if you build your community, you can for sure do it. There's no question about that. So let's keep going to the next one. Oh, I'm on low battery. Oh, that's yours. It gives me anxiety when I see low battery because my computer's always low battery. Yeah. Let's see, how long is it? Yeah, let's watch this quick video. This is the house in Namibia that they're making out of mushrooms. You can. So again, like these are the style of houses some people are living in. Maybe it's not so secure, or if there's big rainfall, maybe it's not so safe. So then a group of people came together and said, let's build a company where we make mushroom houses.
Is this in Kenya?
This is in Namibia. So yeah, biofabrication is like using earth materials to create things. Sorry, maybe this is not Namibia. I think it is, but it could be a different one. But it's the same idea. So look, they're using the local materials. That's important, right? They're using this blackthorn, it's called. It's this material. And that, because they need to mix the mushrooms with something, create this brick, like I showed you, right? So this is like a very sped up or fast version of how they're doing the materials, right? And then, okay, they're growing mushrooms too here. Oh, exactly. Yeah. So they're showing like when you grow the mushrooms, it kind of looks like this when you're growing them, and then the mushrooms will come out of the side of the bag. Okay, so that's the part you eat, but you still have a lot of material left over, and this material can be used for many things. So it's a value cycle. It's not just that you have the food and that's it, you throw everything else away. You can create things like composite materials using this. This could definitely be the start of something bigger. You need a little bit of skills, design, ingenuity, things like this. But you could totally take this and you already ate the food or sold the food, the mushrooms, and then you still can create more value because mushrooms work really well at eliminating waste and producing value. Thank you. It's just like a 1-minute video here. So again, this is a concept, but they have been actually creating these houses right now. So now you can see again like the real deal that they're doing. So that's like what I just showed you. Like this is the block here, and then you see the mushrooms. And then they mix that with the local materials. Winston likes that. Cool. And then the end result is you can create something incredible. So again, like you could create a structure, a building. You can create clothing or leather, things like that, all based off the mushroom. So, oh, they're so happy about it. Yeah. Okay, I think that's good. Thank you. Yeah. So that's it. That's there's actually quite a few companies doing this now. So we'll go to the next slide, please. So that was one. This is what I was telling you just before. Is you can also create materials for clothing out of mushrooms. So very sustainable design. When we started today, I talked about the Sustainable Development Goals for the United Nations. These fit perfectly into that. Instead of using cow animals for materials, you can also create beautiful materials from mushrooms. So this is like a luxury bag from the brand Hermes. It starts out luxury because it's expensive to produce, so people, they start this way with the goal of making it more accessible after. But this is a mushroom leather bag. So again, this, you look at it, you feel it, you think, this is like leather from an animal, from cow. It's like, no, this is from mushrooms. And there's quite a few companies doing this now, doing shoes, doing hats, all kinds of things. And I think there's so much opportunity for more. It's a very future forward-thinking business. Next one, please. Cool. Just one or two other examples. This woman's from Australia, but they have a company where there's a lot of mushrooms that can eat plastic. It can actually, like I mentioned, the diapers. This is a big problem, right? It's like water bottles, diapers. It can be a big problem when you add up all the people in the world using plastic. And her company has these different mushrooms they've trained and services to eat the plastic. So one example that made her stand out to me is they use mushrooms to decontaminate the earth from cigarette butts. You know, in lots of parts of the world, people who are smoking cigarettes, when they throw them out, it's very filthy for the habitat, very toxic for a person, also for the habitat. Well, you can use mushrooms to clean that habitat. And the mushrooms will use these plastic bottles or cigarettes, whatever it is, they will actually use them as food and break them down in a way that otherwise they won't do naturally. So, for example, with this particular form of mushroom technology, if they don't use it on the cigarette butts, it can take something like 100 to 200 years for the cigarette butt to break down. That's the bottom end of the cigarette. And maybe it never breaks down. So you have like you're toxifying the environment. Mushrooms can detoxify the environment. They can detoxify your body, detoxify the environment. Okay, next one, please. I think this is the end here. Okay, this was the last one because I also want you guys to get some fresh air and enjoy, and we can chat a little bit if you want. But, well, maybe I have one more after this. But This is in India, another example. These women started growing mushrooms, and now, they've been educated by friends of mine who are based in the country of India, called Nuvedo. And now they go from having limited opportunities to, oh, this is an opportunity. Now I can eat this, I can trade this, I can sell this. And you learn the skills of business a little bit. You learn what the market is, how to price your goods. You learn a few of these other skills. Learn about sales. You have a collection of these skills together. All of a sudden you have a tremendous amount of independence, freedom, opportunity. So yeah, this is another example. What people are doing here in Africa, they're also doing it in India, United States, Mexico. Anywhere you go, you can find people who are figuring this out. Next one, please. Thanks. Okay, I'll just get one more. I got it. Yeah. One more. These are other examples. Okay, I'll just briefly mention there's some interesting research right now into the history of mushroom use in Africa too. And there are a lot of paintings in places like South Africa and Lesotho, different sub-Saharan African countries, where they have like very, very old art on the rocks that people are drawing, where they have mushrooms depicted. And there's a research project underway from a number of people that are learning about the ancient use of mushrooms in Africa. So also, it's not just a new thing, right, here in Africa. Maybe it's a very old thing that people are remembering now. They're learning about it. So, next slide, please. Next, yeah, these are examples of these rock arts where they have, like, you see right here, what this looks like in particular. Let's go to the next slide. So it's like the same thing, huh? These are like different wild mushrooms that grow. One other opportunity, when it rains and mushrooms grow, you really have to be careful. Don't do this unless you learn a lot and go with an expert. There are mushrooms you can pick that are delicious to eat, so you don't even have to grow them sometimes. You can just go find them. They're already growing. And you'll see people in the markets or on the side of the road selling these different types of mushrooms. There's many different types. But again, I say it's very important not to do this unless you really know what you're doing, because there's also mushrooms that can get you sick. You have to know the difference, yeah? Okay, next one, please. Yeah, so that's my last slide. And I just want to thank you so much for sharing the time with me. It's been such a pleasure to be here. I want to thank Josephine and Eco-Agric. Can we give a hand for Josephine, please? Come in here. Yeah. And then also, I'm going to stay here 2 more days and hang out. I will hang out with you guys outside. But this is my project. If anybody is on the internet or has any kind of interest in this, you can directly reach out to me. If you find Mycopreneur or you take a picture, I'm very easy to connect with. If you can send me an email, it's just like mycopreneur@gmail.com. If you want it, I can share you later, because I really want to support as much as I can and be in community together with you and celebrate being a mycopreneur. So thank you very much. Much love to you.
This opportunity to welcome you and to appreciate Dennis for the wonderful presentation. Please, let's give him a special clap. Let's clap in an organized manner, okay? How do you clap in an organized manner at your school?
Let's give the maybe 5 factorial. Off we go.
So much. We are so grateful, and I would like to take this opportunity to request you to always be part or reserve this slot in the African Rising Mushroom.
Done. I'm here. Yeah. See you next year.
Thank you so much. Over to the organizers, and thank you so much everyone that has made a presentation virtually. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Aixa. A very big thank you to Enric and everyone. We started at 7 in the morning, by the way. You can log in even you're at your school, just in case you have a laptop. And you'll be able to follow even when you're not here. Even tomorrow, we are starting at 7 with virtual presentations. You're most welcome. We are glad to have you. The future is mushrooms. Woo! Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, this group, we are moving out. We are going to be on a distance. Okay, after you. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.